Now, with regard to the socioeconomic and ideological conformity that was demanded after 1945 by the Soviet government, these newly acquired Western lands, Western Volhynia, Galicia, Transcarpathia, Northern Bukovina, they posed a special problem. Not only was it necessary to rebuild the economy there according to the Soviet model, it was also necessary to integrate the very nationally patriotic population, and in particular where? In particular in former Polish-ruled Galicia, and to integrate these Galician Ukrainians with the rest of the Ukrainian population. And by the way, all of this had to be done while there existed in the area, still existed in the area, a military movement fighting openly against Soviet troops. And what was this military movement? Well, as we saw when we spoke about World War II, it had begun during the German occupation, especially in Volhynia, where a group of armed partisans established what came to be known eventually as the Ukrainian Insurgent Army, the Ukrainian Insurgent Army, or the UPA. This UPA, together with a political body known as the Ukrainian Supreme Liberation Council, was able to entrench itself in the rural areas of Western Ukraine, and especially in those areas that were very difficult to get to, the Carpathian Mountains in southern Galicia, and that area that borders the new boundaries of Poland, Soviet Ukraine, and Czechoslovakia. Between 1945 and 1948, this was the main field of operation of the UPA. And initially, one of their goals was to stop the population exchanges, according to which ethnic Ukrainians west of this new Polish-Soviet border would be resettled eastward to Soviet Ukraine. Why would they be opposed to this? Well, simply because this would imply that the Ukrainian population that lived, as you can see just on the other side, were just visitors, they should leave. And the argument was, no, this is the indigenous population, and the Ukrainian character of this area should not be lost. And so the UPA opposed these population exchanges. And that meant that the UPA was most active fighting against the armed forces of the restored, now communist-ruled Poland. And after nearly 3 years of conflict, several thousand casualties on both sides, including the Vice Minister of Defense of Poland that was assassinated in one of the skirmishes in May 1947. After that, Poland decided to buckle down, so to speak, joined with neighboring Czechoslovakia, not yet communist, but internally communist. And together, Poland and Czechoslovak forces were successful in driving the UPA out of the Carpathians. Most of the remaining UPA forces fled clandestinely through Czechoslovakia, walked literally all across Czechoslovakia to reach the American zone in Germany. A smaller number of the UPA troops, including its commander, went east, returned to Soviet Ukraine, where they actually carried out underground sabotage attacks until the early 1950s. So this was still an underground war going on of various proportions in the first half decade after World War II.